Well, hold on.
I'm just saying.
Wait, hold on. That doesn't even make sense.
I'm bringing up professions that work a lot of hours. You think only men only work in jobs that work a lot of hours, but there are some professions that women are more women-dominated that also work a lot of hours.
I suppose it's conceivable in some sector that, in some specific sector, that women work more hours than men. Mm-hmm. On average. It's possible. I'm not even sure if that's the case, because across the board, for the average to actually be true, you would suspect what's most likely that across all sectors, men work more hours than women. Even if your point was true, do you think it defeats my point?
Not necessarily. So.
Okay, so are we arguing that women work more than men?
No, but I also don't think that men always work more than women. So
that wouldn't disprove the central argument. I've already granted you that, yes, it's possible that there are 1, 100, 1,000, 100,000 women out there that do work more hours than some men. But I don't even know how to explain this to make it coherent to you. On average, men work more hours than women. Does that make sense?
Yes. But there's also another nuance to it, which is if women aren't working as more hours, there's a lot of women who have to leave work early or not work as many hours to take care of kids. So.
Okay.
It does contribute to that, especially if you're working a career, you stop your career to have a kid, then you go back later, you're not going to be making as much as you would if you just never left your job.
That's why a company will hire a man over a woman.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they factor in
babies and kids. Yeah,
maternity
it's true.
leave.
I've literally had talks with women about this that haven't got job positions where they're way more qualified than men, but a lot of things are like associated with
I'm
hiring.
just curious though, like let's say your business is brutal and cutthroat. Let's say you're a small business and it's your money on the line. Your money. You run a business. Do you run the business? Do you own the business?
Oh, no.
You work for
I work
somebody,
for someone,
right?
So
it's like these small businesses, oftentimes the owners sometimes the owners can reap quite substantially in terms of their income, but a lot of times they're fucking hustling. You know, they're trying to do everything they can to stay afloat. And do you think it's a good business move to hire a woman who's gonna get pregnant in 3 months? Think about it from your perspective as a business owner. Well, I know you're not a business owner, but if you were a business owner and you're like, shit, okay, fuck, I gotta fill this position. And I don't wanna have to spend 3 months having to train somebody new. And otherwise I go out of business and my family fucking starves. Do you think it's a good business move? I know there's a bunch of legal protections in place.
I was about to say, it gets to be a gray area with the American with Disabilities Act.
Well, hold on. Pregnancy is not a disability.
It's considered a disability.
I mean, I think someone's sued on that
when
before,
going on
so.
leave,
Yes, there's maternity leave, but it's not it's not a disability. But pragmatically speaking, if you're a business owner, maybe these major corporations have leeway to hire a pregnant woman. They've got 40,000 employees. Who gives a fuck? You've got a business with 10, 20 employees and you're fucking...
I think it depends on the type of business and also your employee, because if they're a good employee and you'll know they'll come back, I think they will. I think, granted, I don't want children biologically, but if I got pregnant, people recognize me at my job and they come to trust me and my boss likes me as an employee, I think he'd want to hire me back because I'll stay put and I'm consistent.
Right. I'm not saying that it's always going to manifest itself that companies don't want to hire women, but I'm just looking at it pragmatically. It's I don't know, if you have a magic 8 ball and you can tell the future or whatever, and it's okay, I can hire this person who I'm going to have to spend all these resources and money training them, and then within 3 months they're going to be they're going to leave the job, and then I'm like kind of fucked. Like, wouldn't it almost make sense for a business to prioritize hiring somebody where that's not a risk?
I guess that is the problem, and that's why, for example, me, though it's not one of the many reasons, I won't have a child biologically, because I don't want to not get behind in my career, and I know I'd much rather be a funeral director and embalmer than a mother.
But even then, even granting the situation where companies might have hesitation of hiring women, we clearly don't see it. Women are not out destitute in the streets, incapable of ever securing a job. Women completely, entirely participate in the labor force, in the workforce. Corporations are more than happy to hire women. This idea that there's rampant sexism and women aren't getting hired because maybe they'll get pregnant is just completely ludicrous. Women are absolutely getting hired. There's a bunch of affirmative action. Corporations are predominated by, their HR departments, predominated by women. Women are hiring mostly women. Women have bias towards women. So, I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. However, I don't know. Look, oh man, we're getting in the weeds here. The fucking wage gap. I wanted to get back to this original claim, which was when I gave you the definition of feminism, you had an issue with me saying that anti-male rhetoric and misandry is bad. Why?
I don't have an issue with that being...
You did. Both of you did, because when I brought it up, you're like, who hurt you, Brian? Why do you care?
I actually am curious why you feel the way you do.